Hello and welcome to Beyond the Bio, the recap. In these short recap episodes, I'm reflecting on Monday's show and coming up with an action that you can take as a result of listening. If you missed Monday's show, please go back and take a listen. You will find the link in the show notes. On Monday, I was joined by none other than our very own Lottie here at Moja. You may remember Lottie recorded an episode with me over a year ago now, I think, talking all about podcasting basics, and we'll also pop a link to that in the show notes. That is a popular episode because we spoke about how you can just get started with podcasting with no plans, no ideas, no budget. So that is an episode that I know people come back to time and again to listen when they're getting started with their podcast. But I thought it would be helpful to bring Lottie back and talk about what's new in podcasting, because the world of podcasting changes and evolves, and we get all sorts of stats that keep us up to date here at Moja around what is working well for people. And these are useful stats for us to learn from. So Lottie and I were talking about the huge amount of downloads that we are seeing in the US. So the US has over 42% of all downloads are in the US. And I think it was around 6.8% or 6 point something percent for the UK, which was the second biggest country for podcasting. So a massive difference even between the UK and the US. And then I think it was Australia and Canada that were next. And then a lot of the countries where English isn't the first language were lower down. So we were reflecting on whether that was a key factor in the countries that had the highest number of downloads. We also spoke about what is an average amount of downloads and how you shouldn't be too disheartened when you just get started and you've only got small numbers. And actually, to even get into the top 50% of podcasters, you just need to show up and record your episode each week or each fortnight that it comes out and just get it out there and commit to it. And the numbers will grow. And like I said, don't need huge numbers to be hitting the top podcasters. We came to the conclusion that short is sweet and that there is a small market for these 2 or 3 hour episodes. Instead, the sweet spot in the stats seems to be around the 20 to 40 minute mark. So an average commute time here in the UK, depending on where you're based. Lottie gave some ideas around how to grow your audience, and we talked about the strategy of guesting on other people's shows and that cross-promotion element. So my take action for this week is going to depend on where you are with your own podcasting strategy. If you don't have a podcast, but you're keen to get started, my take action is going to be to start planning out your show. Lottie gave some great advice around making sure that your topic is niche enough to be interesting to a specific audience, but not so niche that you're going to run out of things to say by episode 3. So think about what is your big idea? What can you talk confidently on each week forevermore? What is your topic? Is it going to be something that is just you? Are you going to have guests on every week? Are you going to have guests on some weeks? So starting to plot that out and starting to make some progress with it. Use that podcasting basics episode as well, because there's some cool stuff in that. If you have your own show, my take action is going to be to come up with 3 ideas based on the episode from Monday around how you can promote your show further, how you can get it further up the charts, get the downloads up and have that growth, because there's nothing worse than putting all this time and effort and seeing your numbers go down, which I see quite a lot with people if they're not keeping on top of this stuff. So what 3 actions can you commit to that are going to grow your show? It might be that you make sure that you post about it and talk about it every week on social media. It might be that if you have guests, you create something really compelling that they are more likely to share. It might be that you come up with a podcast guesting strategy and you start approaching people to do show swaps. Whatever it is, take action, get those written down and get on with it. Nothing will happen if you don't take action. I'm a big fan of taking action. So there we have it, my take action for this week on the recap. And as always, I'll catch you on the show on Monday.